welcome back to another episode of the Movie Zone with me, your host Jonathan, aka the Dr. Movies. And now we are exactly, a couple hours away from Batman v Superman coming out of theaters. Like, literally tonight. A lot of people are already seeing it now. The rest of the world gets to see it tomorrow. I personally am going to go see it Saturday. So I figure finish off my movies of all Superman, all Batman. Now I'm on to Man of Steel. If you want to watch all my other reviews about those other movies, go check them out. They're awesome. Okay, so now we're on Man of Steel. This is a brand new take, and it's been years after Superman Returns, and everybody's like, you know what? Superman's hard to make. Superman's one of those films that's like, this is the most powerful superhero on the planet, so how are we going to make him worth watching, worth caring about, doing all this stuff? So they decided to bring in a new actor, Henry Cavill, playing Superman. And this movie is directed by Zack Snyder. And you have a whole bunch of other people in this movie. You have Diane Lane, who's in this movie, Kevin Conroy, who plays Pop Kent, and of course you have Russell Crowe playing Jor-El. Now, we all know the stories of Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, whatever you want to call him. He's a baby from Krypton, comes to Earth after his planet gets destroyed, and basically, you know, he's living on Earth, and he's got to learn how to develop his powers. But this one is a little bit different, because in this movie, the beginning of the movie, basically, you see a lot of Krypton, which is different from the other movies, because in the other movie, you see a little bit of Krypton, and then the destruction happens. And it happens in this one, too, but in this one, it shows a lot more, where you see Jor-El, played by Russell Crowe, warning, you know, the Council of Krypton, listen, this planet is about to be destroyed, we need to get the heck out of here now. And the councils are like, poppycock, no, we ain't doing that, this isn't true, you're worried about nothing, nothing's gonna happen to this planet. And sadly enough, spoiler alert, this movie, you know, it starts off with that, and then of course it happens, it gets blown up. So they send baby Kal-El to Earth, and now he's a boy. Now he's starting to learn how to develop his powers, and you know, you barely see it as much, but he just struggles, you know, he's very different. Even he doesn't know why he's different, until one day, Kevin Conroy decides, you know what, let me tell you the truth. You weren't born on this Earth, you were born on a different planet. We don't know really where you come from, when you came in a spaceship. So now Clark decides to, you know, he grows up, obviously, and now he's going to go search of himself. Of course, he sees trouble happening, he saves the day, and now you have a reporter who's like, decides, like, okay, all these miracles are happening all over the country, let me figure out who the heck is this person. So you have Amy Adams playing Lois Lane. Now she decides, and then go find out who this mysterious angel is, or whatever they call him, and then she goes and tries to find Clark. And for the most part for this movie, I really enjoy it, because honestly it really shows the humanity side of Superman. And they really nailed it right, because honestly Superman is basically, you know, like Catholic and Christianity. He's like kind of like Jesus, coming to Earth, you know, to protect everybody, right? Well, that's what he is. He's also learning how to become, not only, you know, using his powers well, but also being human. And of course, you have General Zod. Now, in the beginning of the movie, General Zod, even played by Michael Shannon, he even agrees with Jor-El. He's like, listen, Council, listen to me. I'm the general here. You know, I'm the military's, you know, top guy. Even I believe him. And they don't believe him either. And then he decides to attack, you know, the council, and then he gets tried for treason. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. But, you know, he gets tried for that, and then he goes into the Phantom Zone. And now we're back on Earth. And then Zod comes back. Him, Fiora, they come back, and all the rest of the Kryptonians who were with him at the time when they were going to attack Krypton and take it over for themselves, they get to, you know, Earth, and now they leave messages like saying that we know there's someone, there's one of us among you. He may look like you, but he's not with like one of you. And now Clark has a decision to make. He's got to either A, turn himself in, or B, hide. Continue to hide. Because right now he's been keeping a low profile. And even his mom is like, listen, it's your choice. If you want to do this, go ahead. So basically when he becomes Superman, you know, with a cape and everything, it's only been like one day. So basically he finds his Fortress of Solitude, or this big ship kind of thing that's supposed to be the Fortress of Solitude. And that's when he starts to learn how to fly. I mean, he can fly already. He already kind of knows how, but he never really tried it. And when he first starts off doing it, he's not too good at it. But visually, it looks incredible. And Zod comes. They have big fights. It's a very good movie. I actually enjoy this movie. A lot of things I like about this movie is like the action scenes in this movie. Is like, wow, what separates from the original ones is that Superman and the other ones mostly flies a lot. Yes, in Superman 2, he actually had more fight scenes than any other Superman movie. But in this one, he has his super speed. He's got his heat vision. He can take a moving train literally coming at him. It's crazy. He can get pushed into a safe, and you can see the impact happening to him when he hits back. The safe breaks. You can see his super speed fighting with Fiora in the diner of Smallville. And it looks incredible because honestly, you have to really show Superman powers. You can't just have him throw 2 punches and then call him Superman. Because honestly, as much as I love the first 2 Superman movies, what they lack of was his fight choreography, if you want to call it that. His arsenal fighting. He only used lasers like 1 time in Superman 2, but in this one he uses his heat vision a lot. It looks like more like flaming heat vision, but it looks pretty cool. So I like that a lot. If I had a nitpick about this movie, about its problems, it's a little bit long. And also, the pacing's kind of slow a little bit. Because you really have to really understand it. And it goes from him being Clark and talking about all this and, all this about how he has to protect himself, keep quiet about his secret. Otherwise, people will find out who he really is. And it really gets into that. So, other than that, that's pretty much it. I like the fight scenes between him and Zod. That looked visually pretty cool. And then you have, obviously, the controversy that everybody talked about that year when he came out. Because the movie came out in 2013. Excuse me. And, of course, like I said, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it. When they fight in Metropolis, basically everything gets destroyed, obviously. And that's why it's going to tie into, Batman v Superman. But then we get to this one point where Superman fights Zod inside like a train station, if I want to call it that. And there's this family stuck in a corner. And when Zod's about to blast him with his heat vision to kill him, Superman has a choice. He's either got to A, try to save the people, or B, kill Zod. Now, obviously, he kills Zod by snapping his neck. And, of course, I remember when this movie came out, a lot of people were like, oh my god, they just killed Superman. And Superman never kills. I can't believe they did that. He never does that. That's impossible. You gotta understand this. Superman has killed before. And, of course, in the comic book. Because he really often do it now. He's just like Batman. Batman's also killed too. So, you gotta at least leave it alone like that. This is a different kind of thing. This is basically trying to, like a serious, realistic way of, like, if you had superpowers and there was a guy trying to kill somebody, what would you do kind of situation? Will you just knock him out and then take him to jail where he can have all the power and just break out easily and do it again? Or will you give it to this guy permanently? Superman at that time, remember, he was just learning. He just became Superman not even 24 hours ago in this movie, and he had to make a choice. So he decided to kill him. I personally had mixed feelings about it, but watching it over again, I kind of get it. When I first saw the movie, I was like, okay, he killed him, I understand why, yeah. Mixed feelings about it, you know what I mean? And as I kept watching it, and it's a very good film. And I still, to this day, I understand why he did it. Zod was one of the biggest threats that he's ever faced. So he had no choice. Because he didn't know how to take him to the Phantom Zone. He didn't know what to do with them. So he couldn't just throw him out of space. I mean, Zod would probably breathe in space and do whatever he wanted. He couldn't just like, go get out of here, never come back, and Zod would have come back anyway. With even a bigger army. So he decides to kill him. Like I said, I personally, at the beginning, didn't mind it. As I watch it now, I still don't mind it. It's still a very good scene. But yeah, if you're a huge Superman fan and you don't believe that he should be killing people, then I don't recommend this movie for you, but or this ending for you. But that's the way the movie is, and I guess that's what Zack Snyder decided to do in the movie. Now I hear some crazy crap coming from Batman v Superman that's even a lot worse than this movie, but negative and positive. But I'll judge that for myself when I watch it. But also the visuals, like I said again, are awesome. Zack Snyder is one of these directors who his films beautifully. Story-wise, sometimes he hits and miss. Sometimes he hits a home run with some of the movies he does, like Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead, to me, I think that's his best movie he ever made. And then, of course, there are other movies he kind of just, he hits grounders and he gets out. So, there you go. And this one, this is like, him hitting a base hit. He hits a base hit and he gets to first base, but nothing happens afterwards. He does a good job with the storytelling of this movie, but then sometimes it just feels flat. Like, certain scenes in this movie, I could have done without. Like, for instance, there's this one scene where Lois Lane, quickly finds out his secret. I'm like, okay, I know she's Lois Lane. I know she's, the best reporter ever in the DC universe, even better than Vicky Vale, in the DC universe. But honestly, how can she figure out who Superman is so fast and that quick? You know what I mean? I wish they would have paced that more to make it more interesting. Like, if she never knew who he was and then she goes into Batman v Superman and then she finds out, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense now. I mean, obviously, anybody can figure out who, Superman is, and Clark Kent put it together, there you go. But, honestly, she just kind of figured out who Clark Kent is. She didn't even know who Clark Kent was. And then she follows the trails of every, all the events that happened with him. All the things he's been doing, all the good things, and she traced it back to the Kent farm. And then she put two and two together, and then she got it. I wish they would have stretched that out to the next movie, but whatever. And also, I feel like one of the best scenes I thought was when Jonathan Kent dies scene. And it's actually a very powerful scene because honestly, there's a big tornado happening and a lot of people are trying to get out, and he goes and tries to save his dog. And Clark is good, saving people. And then he's about to go save his father, and his father just puts his hand out. And he doesn't say anything. He just puts his hand out and then he disappears. That's one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a comic book film. For a couple of reasons. One, that's a father telling his son, no, it's time for me to go, let me do, let me pass on. You're a big man, you don't need me right anymore. And two, he's telling him, listen man, you save me, people are going to see your powers. They're not ready for you yet. You're not ready. Don't let the world know who you are just yet. You make that choice when you need to make that choice. And I thought that was right because, even in the other Superman movies, his father, I didn't mention this in the first movie because I totally forgot about it, but it kind of brings back up to me. His father just dies randomly out of a heart attack. So that wasn't really emotional to Superman in a way, so there you go. I just feel that scene was better. Anyway, that's my thought on this movie. I really enjoyed this movie a lot. I think you should watch it before you even watch Batman v Superman. But let me know in the comments below, do you want to see this movie? And if I had to score this movie, I gave it a 9, I believe, in my original review for this. I don't remember. It's been a while. So I'm going to keep it as a 9. It's still a great film. You should watch it. Superman's back in this. In my eyes, he's back as he's supposed to be, but yeah. So let me know what you think. Do you want to see it? Are you excited for Batman v Superman? Let me know what you think, and thank you, and have a good day.